Marko, welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
Still busy, always busy,
Always busy.
but you have a time for a podcast. Always.
Of course.
You have to find time for a podcast.
Exactly.
Okay. Software products. Today we're going to talk about why they fail and what's actually behind all those reasons why software products fail. We might start, with just a business plan. A business plan is a crucial thing when developing not just software products but any products. Why are they important? How do they help us?
So business plan, when you study economics, I guess that's one of the most important things that you learn there. You have to have business plan when you are starting your new business. I would say it's slightly different when you are kicking off your new software product, because I'm not sure that business plan will help you totally. So business plan, definitely, of course, you should have business plan, but a rough one. So you have to think before you start raising money or start working on your software product. You have to have on your mind maybe how you can plan to monetize that, and what are your users, and what are the most important features you have to basically deliver to them. But basically what happens is that only when you basically deliver that MVP to your users, you will see is your business plan right, is your business plan correct, and those ideas, are they basically feasible? So you have to. I definitely suggest that you have a rough business plan. What are the users? What pain points? What are the pain points you plan to solve? How you can monetize that? Maybe different ways how you can monetize, because you never know which one will work, and basically minimum set of features that you should deliver to your users to give them certain value. But but you have to keep on your mind that it's like just a rough plan. It's like just a path, and you have to basically you have to be agile to basically change direction based on the information that you get from the field. So, and I would say it's really different when you are working in some kind of corporation and you are starting a pilot project there, and you have more data and more bigger support, and your basically assumptions, I would say, maybe are more preciser. But when you are basically a founder in a startup, it's always like you base a lot of things on your assumptions, and you will see what is basically true and false when you reach to the market and you get first users, and when you talk to the users and get the feedback from them, and based on that you'll see were you right initially, or you totally missed the point.
So it's actually, let's say, a skeleton of your idea or plan.
Definitely, yeah.
And you need to have something, in order to get angel investors or VCs to they need to have a sense of, they need to have some sort of predictability of what's going to happen. Of course, everything can change, but they need to have some sense of what you want to do.
Of course, you cannot stand in front of investor and basically tell to them that everything is in your head and they just need to give you money and you will figure out everything. That will not work, of course. But at the same time, they want to see the business plan. But the seasoned investors, they know that that business plan will eventually change. So it's like a play game that you are doing with them, and it's important for them to see your business plan and to see your ability that you can write a nice, good business plan that basically makes sense. But at the same time, they know that you of course you will need to change certain things in the business plan because of the market conditions, feedback from the users, and maybe budgets that you have that you have on your disposal.
Okay, so you constantly need to review and adapt your business plan.
Exactly, always.
Because if you stick to the same one, it's quite obvious that you're not going to be successful.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have an idea, and now you want to start just shaping everything and start building. A part of that is doing market research, just starting, to see what's out there. A lot of businesses don't do that. They spend very little time doing market research, and that's why they fail.
So before you basically invest a lot of your time and energy and money into building a new product, you should understand who are your competitors. You should understand your users, and you should understand what are the pain points you plan to solve. And of course, before you starting your software product, of course you know certain things, so you assume certain things. That's why you are starting, but you should check that with the real market. So first, try to see who are your competitors. If there are no competitors, that's like maybe a red flag. And the ones who are competitors for you, check their offering, check their pricing models, how they monetize their stuff. Maybe you should have a demo calls with them also to understand more in detail how they function and what they are offering. Definitely, you should talk with your potential users to try and understand what they do, what is their daily operations, what are the main pain points for them, and you should talk with them about your ideas to understand is it going to help them, and definitely you should have some kind of mathematical model. It's like you should basically do some kind of calculations in spreadsheets to understand, okay, how many users do you need, what do you think you can charge that service or product per month, per year, and is there basically is there feasible basically, so can you earn enough money for the month, a year to pay all the costs that you basically have to run the business. So that's like a really simple market research. Of course, you can hire a specialized company to do that for you. That's like a cool thing and definitely a way to go, but it takes money, extra money. So maybe you can do that maybe in later stages. But anyway, all the things I mentioned are free basically, and they take only your time. So and by doing that, you are doing the right thing, and I would say maybe 95% of people who are starting their own startup, they are not doing that. So you're immediately in advantage.
Okay, so market research is really important. It just helps you define your primary goals, and later on, as we mentioned already in the business plan, lets you review your ideas and adapt further. Okay, so a lot of companies, when they just start developing their product, they don't really pay attention to their finance. They mismanage the budget. So what's your experience with that? You probably talked to a lot of investors and startup founders who both investors see that startup founders have problems with just managing their finances, and sometimes just startup founders don't know how to manage their finances. So what's your opinion about that?
Sure. So, mismanaging the budget is really one of the um, basically really one of the biggest pain points that I saw when you are working on your new software product, especially for the founders who are who are doing that for the first time. What does it mean? So let's say you raise $1 million, most founders basically spend 80%, 90% to get like a first version of the product, and most of that money goes to the software development, and I, from my opinion, from my experience, I see that that's wrong, and that leads you to failure. So I would suggest maybe if you raise $1 million, you should spend maybe 40% to get to the market with your first version. So be lean, be agile, remove all the unnecessary features, try to go to the market as fast as you can, spend as less money as you can, and let's say you should maybe 40% spend. So you have 60% left for marketing, sales, and for additional iterations regarding your software. So and I would say this 60% that you have additionally to iterate is crucial, because you need to basically have ability to iterate few versions after you release your first MVP, because your assumptions are always basically not 100% correct, and there is some kind of always a twist from the market that you have to basically apply to your product. So you have to have your money to get the users, so you can understand them, so you can see what is wrong with your idea product, and you have to have money so you can implement those changes in the next following few versions.
All right, so you're a technical person. You started out as a developer. So when you were beginning, you lacked that, let's say, business part of the just starting a company. Now that you know that, it's crucial to invest a lot in sales and marketing, and because if you have a great product, it doesn't really matter. You can have the best product in the world, but if nobody knows about that product, you're not gonna be successful.
So I was developer. So for me, it always was about the code, about new features, how we can do something better, and new frameworks, languages, etc. But when you are basically when you are managing the business, when you are basically founder of the startup, you should be aware of marketing and sales, and you should see that as as something that can help you. So when you basically release new website or your product, or maybe publish new app on the App Store, no one will download it, and no one will use it. Why? Because they don't even know that your service product exists out there. So you should definitely somehow build awareness that, okay, hey, I'm here and you can use me, and here is that I can help you with, and I can solve you this and that, etc. So definitely you should use marketing and sales to basically to get in front of users. If you are B2C product, then marketing is the standard way how to basically get in front of other users to build awareness. And if you are a B2B product, then you can use marketing and sales in combination. Marketing to support sales initiatives, and sales to basically get in front of your potential buyers, and to basically as a door opener mechanism. But definitely, sales is through sales you can basically get to the additional users and basically to promote your product. So marketing and sales, from my experience, and especially where I'm telling that as an engineer, that are very important to success of your software product.
Okay, so you have to be extremely lucky if you have a good product and no marketing. That rarely happens that somebody's successful.
Exactly. But I would say maybe it's maybe a luck.
Yeah, and especially nowadays when there are a lot of, you might say, similar products on the market.
You
really have to stand out with marketing.
Yeah. So even ChatGPT, they don't have like a marketing team, but there are a lot of marketing happened around ChatGPT that basically promoted that service, and for that reason, everyone knows about it. The same goes with Tesla and Elon Musk. Elon Musk is basically a marketing machine for Tesla. So maybe Tesla doesn't spend so much money on marketing, but they have Elon Musk, and for that reason they don't need to do that. But I would say that in these days, to be successful, to get money, you have to basically put your product in front of users. And the way how you can put your product in front of users is through marketing and sales.
Now that, let's say I'm a startup founder, I have a product and I rolled it out. I need to listen to my users because, we come back to the first point of the business plan. If I, just follow my business plan blindly, my product is probably going to fail. But by listening to my users, to the feedback, I'll get a better product and be more successful.
Totally. Feedback loop is very important in success of your software product. What does it mean? When you deliver, when you basically put your first version of the product in front of users, you should be able to have a feedback loop implemented as soon as possible. That means that you have certain tools and processes in place so you can get a feedback from user back to your team, and so you can act on that feedback. And so you can basically iterate and build a new version that will basically implement those feedbacks. So it's very important, and it's important to implement that as a process. So you should avoid doing it ad hoc, because in that case you will get some kind of maybe you can get wrong results. You should have it like a process, and constantly basically getting a feedback from the users, and act upon that feedback. There are plenty of tools out there that can help you with that. Intercom for chat communication with your users. Kenny, the board where nice board on the web where users can basically vote missing features, and you can see and you can from that board you can see basically what features should be top priority for you to develop next. And plenty of other mechanisms. Even analytics is some kind of feedback loop. So you track how your users use your product, and basically based on usage, you can do some kind of changes. And also, of course, talking to your users to get feedback directly from them.
Okay, so user feedback is really important. What happened a couple of years ago with Snapchat, actually it was 2018. What happened with Snapchat is that they redesigned the app, just rolled it out without asking the users whether it's good or bad, if they like it or not. And the users didn't like it and decided, just to slowly abandon the app. And what actually happened is they brought back the old design because the new one wasn't working. So you have to listen to your users. You also mentioned features, and that's quite often what happens is that companies add too many features and functions to their products.
Yes, totally. And there is a name for that, scope creep. When you are building a new product and you are basically postponing your product launch by adding new features, and you think that adding new features will basically get you more users, make you more successful, etc. But basically, what is happening there is that basically adding new features is keeping you in your comfort zone of development, and you are not you didn't reach the market, you didn't get the feedback, and you are basically keeping yourself in the comfort zone and buying your extra time until basically you are in like a collision with the market, and at that moment you'll see all these assumptions are they right or wrong. So scope creep is really poison when building a startup, because when building a product, because it takes you and for you and your team energy, time, and money, and it costs you so much, and and at the end it doesn't help you at all. It basically it ruins you basically. So be totally lean regarding the feature set. Choose wisely the minimal set of features you have to basically deliver to the users, and use the processes to get information from the user about what else, what are the features that you have to build, not your assumptions, but what users basically tell to you what they need.
Okay, I think we covered the business part of why software products failed. So now maybe we can switch to the operational part. And one of the problems when just starting developing your product is not setting up processes. What happens when you don't set up a process? When developing a software.
Building a software product is really complex. There is always some team behind the scenes, and with plenty of roles, with different specialties among them. So you have to basically have certain processes implemented so that you can basically manage with the team. So you can basically control easily the team, and you could manage it. And without having processes, it's really hard to understand the progress, to understand blockers. Are there some kind of blockers that are stopping someone from your team to do their job, and basically to to manage easily the different roles and expertise.
But here's where Agile comes into play with just helping you constantly adapt to the needs of the development process.
Building a software product is a complex initiative. It involves different roles, plenty of many people, and different specialties inside of the team. And you have to basically be able to manage them and to track progress and to understand, and basically to have some kind of rigid system in place that will basically keep everyone in the same direction. For that, you need a process, and at the same time, you want to be agile because you want to be able to move fast and to change directions based on the feedback you have from the market or from the users, etc. So you want to be agile, and there are plenty of methodologies you can implement to have a process and at the same time to be agile. And one of those methodologies is Scrum. We use Scrum here in the code also. Scrum is nice because it defines pretty nicely the process you have to follow, and at the same time it allows you agility. So thumbs up.
So Scrum breaks up the process into smaller pieces, and you just do sprints with that and just get a better product.
So Scrum defines the process, and that process involves certain ceremonies, defines meetings, defines roles in that process, and it defines expectations. So by adopting to Scrum methodology, basically you can still be agile by changing the sprint and planning 1, 2, 3 sprints ahead, and have that agility, and at the same time you have the rigid process that basically keep your team in the same direction and in sync in the same direction and easily manageable.
Okay, so being agile also means being able to effectively communicate, both with your customers, with users, with just inside your teammates, and so on. So how does communication come into play? When just setting up everything when during the development process.
Yeah. Communication is one of the most important things that I learned through these 11 years. And when I'm talking with potential clients and with my clients also, I'm always getting information from them. They are not happy with communication. I'm not getting information from them that they are not happy with the code or deliveries. They're not happy with the communication, and everything starts from communication. And when you are building a product, of course, it's your focus is always on features, on code quality, on different roles, specialties, expertises, etc. Features you want to build, but communication is what blends everything, and it creates a bandwidth through the team. So you have to basically work on to have a good communication in the team and be sure that your communication inside of the team is good enough. I know that someone will listen to this and they will think, okay, of course, the communication should be good, but you have to basically involve yourself, your processes, and the way how you basically lead the meetings, how you behave to people, and the number of meetings and etc. Everything should basically support the communication part. And regarding communication, why is that important? Because you don't want to be surrounded with task doers. You want to be surrounded with people who understand the context, broader context, so they can basically understand why they are doing that, for what reason, what do you aiming for, and you want to be able to get a feedback even from them. So if there is something, if maybe they see something wrong with the main goal, so maybe and they should tell you that. And if there is some kind of shortcut, so you can save much of you can cut the cost by maybe listening to them and taking that shortcut if it exists. So communication will basically help you to have a healthy team and to extract the best of the people.
Okay, so developers aren't just the ones, who do things they are told, but they can also really help you, say, they can say what they think about your product, and just develop it further. Because they might see some, let's say, drawbacks that you're not able to see as, let's say, startup founder, or are not aware of. And here's where they come into play. So you need to communicate with the developers, with the designers, with pretty much everybody.
With everyone in your team.
Yeah. Don't keep anything in the dark.
Yeah, exactly. And share always the broader context. So don't just give them a task or share the minimum information. Share the broader context. Share as much as you can, so they can visualize the entire picture.
Okay. We started our talk today with having a business plan. That can apply same to designing an app. So some founders just jump head in first when developing their software. They don't design before the development part. So how important is just to have everything clear, to have just a nice wireframe before developing?
You should always have design and wireframes before you start development, before you start coding. Not just because you want to see what you are building. It's more about to understand and see all the edge cases you have to basically implement and be aware when you're coding. Because design, before 10 years ago, it was like a lot of things was documented into the normal documents, board documents. So a lot, and you had to basically read through all the cases, edge cases, etc. And these days you can basically convert a lot of basically words into one wireframe, and that will tell you even more than words. So combination of wireframes or high fidelity design with all the edge cases and with additional comments is crucial before you start coding. That way you know all the edge cases you can basically expect, and it helps your team to understand what they are building, what are the edge cases they should basically handle, and definitely it defines expectations. You know what you should basically get at the end.
Okay, so same with the business plan. Have a structure, but also be ready to review everything and adapt, because you might, have a wireframe, but realize, okay, this part is going to take too long and it's going to cost too much money to make. So we can probably, kick that out and compensate with something else.
Exactly, totally, and that is one of the very important things when you design, when you do wireframes and do high fidelity design before development, because even before you started coding, you can realize, okay, that will take us so much time and money, and let's basically reshuffle that and make it more simpler, so we can basically develop it faster and save the budget.
Okay, so we covered a lot of points today, but what would be your advice, or what would you say to somebody who's just started developing their software?
Be agile. Try to get to the market as soon as possible. Spend as less money as you can to reach the first version. Save your money to basically so you can iterate. Build a feedback loop as soon as possible. Make sure that feedback loop is not ad hoc. It's more it should be more process like, and yeah. So of course, write the business plan, but keep in mind that it's like just a rough plan, and you should be agile about that also, and feedback loop, iterations, and talking with your users after you reach the market will basically define your business plan further.
Okay, so always be ready to adapt. Nothing is, let's say, written in stone.
Exactly.
Always be ready to adapt. Okay, thank you very much for being here today, and until next time.
Sure, thank you.